I'm a firm believer in your word is your worth. What you say, if you say something, you need to stick to it. Or, make a reasonable compromise. If you say you're going to do something, then you need to make your best effort to do that thing, whatever it is. And that's kind of how I work. If you're only worth your word, in my opinion. And if you can't stick to your word, then you're not trustworthy. And that's kind of how I do things. And so, like, for example, the electrician that, we hired to come put in the EV charger, and he stalled over a month. His word is worth nothing, because what he said was 2 weeks. And what he meant was, I'm not coming because I underbid the job. And that's not how this works. That's not how life works. Now you have a bad review on Yelp because, I do that. My word is what I think it is. I'm not paid to do one thing or the other. I'm not swayed in any particular way. If I have a bad opinion about you, I'm going to put it on Yelp. Everybody's going to see it. And it may not make a difference. Or it may. Who knows? I guess that's for you to figure out. So I'm really big on sticking to your word. And, like I say, if you say something, you need to make a best effort. Now, if things come up and you can't do it, I get it. But you need to make a best effort. The guy who did the grading on my property told me that, he was so very trustworthy. Now, let me tell you one thing. If someone tells you that they're trustworthy, or they tell you that they are the best, they're probably not the best. They're probably not trustworthy. But met the guy. He tells me he's so trustworthy that, highly recommended from blah, 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 blah. And if he did the job and I didn't like it, then I didn't have to pay him. Well, we found out that was a lie now, didn't we? Because as soon as he got his check, he ran. He didn't come back. He didn't do any work. He didn't call. And a month, 2 months after the whole ordeal went down, well, his grandpa just died. Well, that. I mean, that was 2 months ago. I mean, sure, he could have been dying 2 months ago, but a simple text message saying, hey, my grandpa's dying, or something would have been way better than nothing, which is exactly what I've continued to get after the death of his grandpa. He has no intention of coming back and finishing the job. None at all. So, people are shitty people. Let's just put it that way. The world is full of shitty people, and you just kind of learn to expect that sort of behavior out of people. People are not trustworthy, and very few are. And so you learn to expect that out of people. But when it comes from someone you didn't expect it hits different. And recently I had a friend who, he called me a couple months ago, and he's like, hey, I got a week off after Thanksgiving from work. I'd like to go to Niagara Falls. What do you think? And I'm like, hey, yeah, it sounds great. He's like, do you want to go? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. So I get everything in order. I got my passport. I, start looking at hotels. I'm trying to plan out, what's the best way to do it. Obviously, if you've ever been to Niagara Falls, I've never been to Niagara Falls, so let me just rephrase that. From people who have been to Niagara Falls, I have heard that you will get a better view on the Canada side than you will the American side. So I told him, I was like, personally, I'd like to stay on the Canada side. And we could get like a 3-bedroom, big-ass hotel suite, split it 3 ways. It'd be like $50 a night per person. It wouldn't be that big of a deal. And complete silence. He wouldn't talk about it. He refused to talk about it from that point on. I'd call him up. We'd talk about other things, and when I'd mention it, he'd go silent. And now he's on vacation by himself. He didn't go to Niagara Falls. He's sitting in the back of his truck somewhere because you won't talk to me. And that's what really pisses me off, is because, when you trust someone and you come to expect, good communication with that person, and then all of a sudden, they say they want to do something, but then they change their mind, they back out, whatever. you kind of just ruined my plan, because, you know, I marked off this week of the month because I had expected we were going to Niagara Falls, you know. I had expected this was something we were going to do. And now, here you are on your week vacation alone because you wouldn't talk about it. Like, I mean, if you changed your mind, cool. Let us know you changed your mind. Don't wait until after the vacation would have started to let us know you're not going. Because I didn't actually end up planning it. I didn't end up booking anything because I couldn't get a solid answer out of him. And I know how that goes. You know, you don't get a solid answer out of him, that's a no. But it was his idea. So yeah, I guess the lesson out of this is the world is shitty, and you can't trust anyone. And as soon as you do, they're probably just going to stab you in the back. So good luck.